Yep. Hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So to any and all new subs and whatnot like that. So, my name is Shanae, but I go by my channel name Live Life because all the knowledge that I provide ever since I started my channel in 2020, so the past 4 years, well, even though the new year is really not till March, but I'm gonna say the past 4 years for the sake of New Year's already passing, whatever. But I just basically observe people's behaviors, and I've come to realize like certain people just have dysfunctional ways, toxic behaviors, dysfunctional and toxic mindsets, broke mindsets. People are broken spiritually, they're spiritually dead, zombies, and I just call it as I see it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't like it. I can call these people out in my family. I can call these people out in the workplace. I can call these people out. Just, it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, we're in the age of Aquarius where all things is being revealed. Information is no longer hidden. It's not the age of Pisces where, or it's not even the industrial revolution age. We've already moved into a technological age. The internet is the fastest way to get out information and get information. All these different social medias and stuff, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, shoot, I don't know, a lot of other ones, TikTok, and any others that I don't name because, to be honest, I don't be on all this stuff. Like, I just don't. Not like that. I'm on there for informational purposes. If I'm not learning from it, I have no interest in it. And to all my returning viewers and everything like that, I just want to let y'all know, I know I took a break and everything like that, but breaks in this narcissistic community are needed. They are very, very needed because in order for you to heal and truly move on, you got to tell your story. I used to sit around and watch narcissistic video after narcissistic video, while I'm at work because I'm trying to get through my cognitive dissonance because, in the public eye, my mom is this angel, but behind closed doors, I'm experiencing Satan in human flesh. You know what I'm saying? So, and I have to say this, but, I've been talking to, a college friend of mine where she's just now learning that she can't go back home. I knew her since, freshman year of college and everything like that. We stay in touch here and there and whatnot. And she's married with 2 young kids and stuff like that. So we were, having a conversation recently, and I told her, I said, look, I can't really go back home either. I mean, if I do, I do, but I know how to navigate, my relatives. But at the time, when I did not know about narcissism, when I really didn't know about mental disorders, cluster B personalities, and things like this, there's a lot going on. I mean, some people in my family aren't any of that. They're just a dark empath. They're an empath that went the wrong way. Instead of, remaining the empath that God created them to be, to remain in a place of love, to help where help is needed, to be kind and to give, they do the opposite. There's people out here that, this is why I tell y'all, beware of people who are charming, because they're charming for a reason. And you got to ask yourself, what's the reason? When people ask you questions, oh, so what do you do for work? They're asking because when they're not around you, they go to Google, they Google your career to try to pocket watch you. Oh, dang, he or she makes this much? And if you make more than them, now they got this usury idea or mindset that, oh, I can use this person. So now they're trying to befriend you and let's hang out. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you sitting there like, because if it was a true friendship or leading a true friendship, then it would develop organically. Not, let's do this, let's do that. Calling you every day, texting you every day, right off the rip, after learning enough information to see if they can use you or not, if you're a good candidate to be qualified to be around. You know what I'm saying? This is why when strangers ask me, like, so what do you do for work? I'll be like, a little of this, a little of that. It's not that I want to give a vague answer. I just feel like if I am around you for a certain period of time, like we meet at this same place, as time goes by, you will learn these things. Why? Because you have to earn the information first. You have to earn it first. And one thing I notice is people try to trauma bond immediately. Oh, my ex-husband, he was abusive. My baby daddy, and I say that because, a few ladies who, I went to high school and college with, they are currently single mothers of more than one child. And unfortunately, they are struggling in life hard. I don't know what their family support system is like or anything like that. The only people that I feel bad for in that scenario are the children. Okay? And I say that because, these are the same people that I observed that in our friendship, you were willing to ditch me for this guy, that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. I mean, I get it. That's the person you're in a relationship with, whatever. All right, cool. But why every time when it doesn't work out, you think you can run back to me crying, sad? Why do you feel that I'm the one that you can vent to? Oh, he's a cheating piece of shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, wait a minute. Let's break it down. Let's be serious. I couldn't understand it when I was in my 20s, right? I was in my 20s and, I got into the trucking industry, which is male dominated. And all I would hear is all these like 40-year-old men, because they were all older than me. It was only one other person that I knew that was male, but he's actually a few years younger than me. But nonetheless, he's in my generation. Do you know these older men would get jealous of that young man because I talked to him and I really didn't associate with none of them like that? If I was to crack a joke or talk about a cartoon or some show that we grew up on, what the hell is somebody that's 20 plus years older than us gonna know about the show? Nothing. Where there is a big generation gap between us. The most you can do possibly is, teach us about life. Like, oh yeah, I've been married once or twice. And, oh, put your money in a 401k, do this, do that. But that type of living, that type of brainwashing, that type of program in their mind from their generation is work hard, die hard. And the program of my generation is heal hard, and we want to play. You know what I'm saying? Like all that stuff, like, come on now. So, a lot of people in my generation, it's not that we don't believe in working hard or for what we want. We also just will not tolerate people of older generations being rude. This is not that bullshit of children are seen, not heard, because you're dealing with grown adults. These adults are not your children. So don't treat them like they're your children just because they're younger than you. They still demand and require respect, just as you as a so-called elder demand and require respect. Respect is a two-way street. It is not one-sided. So anybody that is older than me, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and you feel like someone that's of a younger generation owes you respect just because you're older or owes you, something. No. You got it twisted. Nobody owes you anything. And my generation is a generation opting out of taking care of their parents because the parents were highly toxic, highly dysfunctional, highly narcissistic, sociopathic, cluster B personality, Machiavellian, dark empath, whatever it may be, you are not loving, you're not nurturing, you're not kind, you're not empathetic, you're not sympathetic. You can fake it, but behind closed doors, you can't fake that, you know? But I just find it interesting that, like, you know, the older guys, they were always talking shit about their wives. Man, my wife nags, and she this and she that. But my thing is this. You're not opening your mouth to tell any of these co-workers how you're in a sexless marriage. That's why you're cheating. That's why you have a mistress. That's because you're in this marriage and you're not even happy. You got kids, the house, the cars, everything that you claimed you ever wanted, and you still unhappy. That's interesting. That is so interesting to me. How do you have, like, how are you of that generation? Get the house, the picket white fence, the dog, the wife, the kids, and all this, right? How do we go from that? You get it, and then because it's not what you thought it would be, it's too much work, you know, now all of a sudden, I don't want this. I'm not feeling happy today, so I'm just gonna go cheat. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna steal. I'm gonna treat my partner who does this, that, and the third for me like she doesn't really mean anything. I'm gonna treat them like they're not good enough when they are, in fact, good enough. You know what I'm saying? And this goes the same way for women who are in marriages, you know? But this is what I have to say. Being that women outnumber men, and this is just an observation, me just being objective, me looking at all these celebrity divorces, which the women initiated, looking at regular marriages of the average Joe Smo, the blue collar worker, white collar worker. I think there's a pink collar, if I'm not mistaken. But the men who make less than like 100,000, you know, they're like 30, 40, 50,000, 70,000, somewhere in there, right? You're trying to devalue these very men as if they have nothing to bring to a relationship. I mean, it is weird, but I have to look at it objectively and truthfully. Like, it's not on no, and I've looked at things, like, I used to watch Fresh and Fit, but I didn't really pay attention to them like that because you're purposely bringing whores that got OnlyFans and all this other stuff onto your show to make a point. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to paint this picture that all women are alike, and that's not true, because if women were to be like all men are alike, you'll be like, no, that's not true. So it's really not a gender thing. It is a spiritual thing that is taking place on the planet and determining how people are operating and moving in life. Okay? So when you look at things on the level of spirituality, right, you can see that people have demons. They have these internal issues. No one can fix that for them, not even God. Okay? We're given free will to do whatever we want on this planet, good or bad, right? And at the end of it, we're all going to be judged, right? Well, my thing is, I find it interesting how, like, narcissistic people are always like, judge not, be thy judge. Okay, but this is my thing. I have to judge you to determine if you qualify being in my life. If I am a woman and I befriend another woman, but that woman cheats on her husband, she's just out there like a thought pocket. Well, I also believe in the saying, birds of a feather flock together. So, and I also believe in bad communications corrupt good manners. So it's easy. Okay, imagine yourself having on a whole white outfit. You know, it's easy for dirt to get on you than for you to clean the dirt. You feel me? It's easy for people to put their negative thoughts and mindset and energy onto you than for your positivity to rub off on them. So knowing this type of knowledge, knowing that energy transfers, you know what I'm saying? And I say this because these same young ladies who are now bitter single mothers, these women, when I would hang out with them in college, because I was young and naive my damn self, I knew that just because they were out there having sex with all these guys, well, that's them. I'm not going to do the same thing. However, I found other ways, like the ways that they talk, profanity and certain things of that nature started to rub off on me, because for the longest time, I never used the word nigga. Now I notice that I just use it and I just don't care. It is what it is. So at some point along the way with dealing with certain people, certain things got put in my vocabulary that I did not have before until interacting with this said individual. So luckily for me, I didn't go down the same path as these young ladies, because I believe in being married and then having my children. Because okay, back in the day, if a mother and a father had a child, but they weren't married, the child was considered a bastard. Well, me being a bastard, a product of two unmarried parents, why would I want my children to also be a product of unmarried parents? I am a generational curse breaker, and it's hard, or it was. I don't feel that there's anything else for me to break, because I broke the leash that my mom had on me. I broke the chains that had me bound to her, because for real, it is what it is. And I just kind of noticed, like my mom, all men are dogs. Well, with that type of mindset, guess what you're welcoming into your reality? Every man that's a dog. But then here's another perspective. Did you think that maybe if you actually looked in the mirror and changed that person in the mirror, that maybe you would end up with different results? But see, you want to look at, well, they did this, they did that. Okay, but you had some type of play in it too. And if you can just be accountable and responsible for the part you played in the failure of that relationship, and, try to do better for the next individual, you would see that you can do better. But see, a lot of people are just talk. They not about the walk. Talk is cheap. All right. Are you walking the walk? So anyways, it's just interesting, because I noticed that, like, a lot of people been commenting on these past videos that I made where I was like, men trap women with babies too. And that is very true of a narcissistic man. It is very true of a mentally disordered man. Okay? If you're a man and without a shadow of a doubt, in your heart of hearts, your mind of minds, and your soul of souls, that you are not mentally handicapped out here, mentally effed in the head. If you know that, then who are you to speak and say that men don't trap women with babies, when there's plenty of women out here talking about their experience? You're trying to invalidate them, trying to make it seem like, well, she don't have the baby. Now, don't get me wrong. It ain't about being blue pill or red pill out here, but I see the point. But don't be trying to invalidate the woman and make it seem like, well, she could have got an abortion, and she could have this, and she could have that. Who were you to tell her what she could have done? Where the fuck was your ass at to pay for the abortion? Where the fuck was your ass at? Living your own debaucherous, fucked up life, right? Right? So who are you to tell her what she could have, should have done? Your ass could have, should have, would have, some other shit. So shut the fuck up. Yeah, I said it. Shut the fuck up. Because just like there are women out here trapping men, men are out here trapping women too. Women are out here bummy ass bitches, hobosexuals, and they fucking a dude for a roof over their head in the places too. There are guys out here doing the same shit. And guess what? Those same men and women are men and women raised by single mothers. Ooh. But a lot of people don't want to have this discussion, no. They don't want to have it. I mean, statistics show how children that live with a single father still do just as good as a child with a mother and a father in the house. But the worst of the children, the criminals, the all these people, they were raised by single mothers. It was who was it? I don't know if it was Jeffrey Dahmer or if it was Ted Bundy or it was one of these damn serial killer dudes. And when they were interviewed as to why they did what they did, do you know what most of them said? Well, my mother used to beat me. My mother was a drug addict and abused alcohol. And she beat me and she this and she that. And it shaped him to murdering animals. And then they move on from murdering animals to murdering people. Because, shoot, I can't tell you why they decided to murder anything. I have too much empathy to just sit there and, shoot a squirrel or a bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless the animal tried to attack me first, then, I mean, it is what it is. Because I'm going to protect myself. But I'm just saying, like, just to be doing it, you know what I'm saying? They harbor a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, a lot of resentment. And all this anger and hatred and resentment, they take out on other people in the world when all that anger goes towards your mommy or your daddy, depending on, how abusive they were. Prime example, Will Smith talked about it in his book. I ain't read his book, but I've just heard, like, what he had to say in it and stuff like that. But his father was abusive. So what did he end up doing? He ended up going into being in an abusive marriage. He is going to die with Jada before he moves on. Because, one, the idea of being a failure, a two-time failure, is gonna crush him. You know what I'm saying? Like, with everything that Jada was doing and putting out there and embarrassing this man, she don't love that man. She don't respect that man. You know what I'm saying? I still like him as an entertainer, but the truth is coming out about so many people in Hollywood. So, I mean, it doesn't, you'll look at them in a certain way or in a certain light, but is it really going to stop you from watching their movies, or is it really going to stop you from listening to their music? I'm just saying, because personally, I look at how debaucherous, and just disgusting Sexy Red is, but you have a lot of people out there, oh yeah, Sexy Red, my booty hole brown and my pussy hole pink. I got gonorrhea lipstick and booty cheek brown on my lips, or whatever the fuck these young Gen Zers is on. And I mean, it is just degenerates. It is just breaking down so freaking bad. But again, women outnumber men. Men are out here having babies with women that are incapable of mothering. And her being incapable of mothering, look at what you have. You have the next generation of men and women that are screwed up. So the men and women of the past, you got to take responsibility and accountability and start trying to do better for these Gen Alphas coming up. Gen A, because when I have kids, that's exactly the generation they would be, Gen A. And let me tell you, they are going to be a rebellious generation. And not rebellious as in necessarily like, oh, I'm going to talk back to my parents. I'm going to curse my parents out. I'm going to be disrespectful. No, they are going to be rebellious to the system. They are going to be the glitches in the matrix. As a matter of fact, we already had glitches in the matrix. We've had people in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that are glitches in the matrix. I'm going to just say Gen Alpha going to ruin this shit. They gonna be like Trinity and Neo in the Matrix 3 when they broke and just blew up Zion and fucking they sacrificed their lives to blow fucking Zion or the Matrix or the machine or whatever. Point is, they died and they sacrificed their lives for everybody else in the Matrix and out of the Matrix. Just for the Matrix Resurrections, just for them to go recover the dead bodies of Trinity and Neo and put their asses back in the Matrix. Next thing you know, their souls was like, I know you. Their souls were drawn to each other, regardless of Trinity having a husband and kids who were distracting her because she felt drawn back to Neo and Neo felt drawn to her. When she ignored her husband and her kids, they broke the Matrix again. And even the creator of the Matrix said, how the fuck y'all keep doing this shit? I'm just saying. I mean, art imitates life. So if art imitates life, these movies, they tell you what's up. I mean, people are just, everybody got their own thing. They talking about all this stuff. And it's just like, man, look, focus on you. Manifest what it is that you want to manifest in your life. If you know that you want a family dynamic that is healthy, not toxic, manifest it for yourself, because previous generations were very toxic and very dysfunctional and evil. Okay, that's them. New Earth is a space that cannot have evil, cannot have, bad doers and, people, running over people, lying and cheating and stealing and all this stuff. New Earth, there will be none of that. So if you're on that, you better change your ways and expeditiously, because you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make the cut. All right. And I just had to accept that a lot of people that I love and I care about, whether they are friends, ex-friends, or whatever, I, at that time that I interacted with you, had a genuine connection with you at that time. I have elevated and grown since. I don't know if they've elevated and grown since, but one thing that I do know is the young ladies I went to school with that are single mothers, they wanted to trauma bond over how they hate their baby daddies. Well, I can't relate because I don't have no baby daddies, so I can't relate. I can't relate to being a single mother. I can't relate to none of that. And I mean, it's just like one of my coworkers, telling me that, oh, she's divorced and she was in an abusive relationship. I've never been in an abusive relationship because I already made up in my mind that if a guy ever got beside himself to put his hands on me, I'm going to beat him to a bloody pulp and call the police. Okay? Because I'm going to defend myself. Ain't no way you about to just be putting your hands and act like I'm not going to fight back and defend myself. If I can't run and you're putting me in a corner to fight, well, shit, I'm grabbing a knife, grabbing a microwave. Your head going to be in the microwave. Like, you about to get fucked up. Because I'm about to call on God and be like, give me the strength of Samson. Samson tore shit up. I'll bring this whole house down playing with me and my spiritual team. You don't know who's protecting me on the spiritual side. So you may come up against this vessel, but do you know the team that's behind me? Do you know how strong they are? Do you know how helpful they have been? Do you know what they have stopped in my life? Do you know the people that they have kicked to the wayside for me? Do you know the things that have been revealed on my behalf? They can see and hear things that I can't. Shoot, you could call them, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, they for my good. They ain't been for my detriment in no type of way. I'm sorry, Trippy. So I'm just saying, they see you as just flesh and bone. Oh, you by yourself. The weakest people gotta have a crowd. The weakest people gotta have 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 friends. Ain't none of them damn people your friend. Because when you down and you starving, how many of them friends gonna feed you in this inflated economy going on? How many people gonna let you stay and live with them if you become homeless? How many of them gonna give you a ride to and from work, but you ain't got the money to get them no gas? True friends are revealed in time. And those are the people that you keep, and you always cherish them. You always appreciate them and show gratitude too. You never take those people for granted, because take them for granted if you want to. When they cut you out their life and they move on and they give all that gratitude, appreciation, and they're a good person and etc. to another person, don't be trying to be jealous later. You effed up, and it is what it is. God ain't gonna be sending his people to people for you to be running all over them and treating them like shit when God knows his people deserve better. Like, no. So I just find it interesting how people are just out here. Oh, it's not a war on women. It's not a war on men. Y'all need to realize that a house divided is a house that's fallen. If all men and women of any race or culture came together and genuinely cared about humanity, imagine how different the world would be than it is right now. I mean, do I gotta sing Heal the World by Michael Jackson? You know what I'm saying? Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. You know what I'm saying? But people don't want to change the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror. They don't want to do the internal work to be better. They don't want to go through the pain of what they experienced to heal it. Because that is a tough thing. You experience pain, you want to just shove it down, suppress it and all that. No, you have to dig it up, because it will resurface. It will resurface in your relationships with your children, grandchildren, friends. Whatever issues are internal, they're going to come up and they're going to be a problem. And it's a problem that you have to address. Everyone else isn't always the problem. Everyone else can't be saying the same thing about you, but yet is everybody else and not you. You're the common denominator in all those relationships, in all those marriages, in all those friendships. Like, come on, be for real. But y'all, be good out there. You know what I'm saying? Just be objective and watch how people are moving out here. Because who's who is already revealed. Now, you just met somebody. It takes time. But just beware of charming people who come up to you trying to be your best friend, and they trying to just force themselves on you or into your life. And it's just like, hold on. Like, I didn't give you access into these spaces in my life. Like, no, you're at this level in my life. You know, you can only afford economy. You can't afford VIP or business class. You know what I'm saying? Treat your life like an airplane. If you can only afford economy, that's the part of the plane your ass is going in, the back. Okay? If you can afford business class, then you're going to be in the business section. If you can afford first class, you're going to be in the first class. If you're going to be VIP, it's because you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, sit where you can afford. If you want to be VIP in somebody's life, earn it. Pay for it. Because the price is rising now. When people have removed you out their life, the price has been risen on coming back. Especially if they value themselves and their time, and they got a mission out here to do. They ain't got time to be worrying about you. Pay the admission price if you want readmission. If you're not going to pay it, then stay gone. Stay away. Duh. But that's just a message to the narcissistic people out there trying to hoover and get back in people's lives. You've been dismissed, forgotten about. You are ignored. They don't want to be bothered with you. Let it go. Bye. You know? But They are so obsessed that they can't. And it's sad. But anyways, y'all. Peace. Positive energy always creates elevation. Y'all stay good out there. Peace.